at him in the corner.
Don't get me started.
With the same hoodie he's had on for 4 weeks.
Leave him alone.
Just 'cause he got a
It's
compliment.
new. It's a new hoodie, and he's done all right today. He's done well, and his stats. He's done well this week.
Oi.
Why am I here?
Who the fuck's he?
What?
I'm the Irish representative of Stretford, whatever this is called.
That's the spirit.
The Brew.
Hey?
With Jesse Lingard.
That's the level of preparation we have on this channel.
Roll VT. Oh, yo, we haven't fucking got one, have we? Amateurs.
Put them on for me.
Bunch of amateurs. All right.
Hello.
Hi, Andrew. You okay?
Gotta
Yeah,
get close.
it's really nice to be here, lads. I'm very excited to be on. I mean, I am
Jay.
the reason why.
Fucking hell's this?
He's old school, him apparently.
Prove it.
When was your first video? For
Roll VT.
Roll
No, we ain't got one,
we
have
ain't
we?
got it.
Callum. Fucking Christ. Joe, what?
Height of
If we
professionalism.
had, like, if someone had suggested this 4 hours ago, maybe we'd have had
Right,
this.
yeah, okay, we get it. You suggested something and you weren't listened to.
We could have introduced who Andrew was. Remember that thingy channel, Full Time Devils? Remember that?
I remember it well.
Before Social Chain killed it. Remember that? You know that fellow who's on Dragon's Den?
Right, that's enough of that. Thank you.
Have
Yes.
a fucking clue how to run
Thank
a
you.
fucking kitchen.
Thank
a fucking
you.
pot washing gaff. Or a fucking YouTube channel. That guy. Yeah, that guy. Anyway,
It's not me.
well, we bought it off him and we changed the name. But before that, it used to be called Full Time Devils. Don't know if you remember this.
I do.
Do you?
And we were on it, weren't we? I was on it.
You was on it about 3 or 4 videos in. You was fucking...
Yeah.
And that's why, if you've got a podcast and you've got one listener, Jay's your man.
Yeah.
Jay will come on.
Do you know what, right? You mock me, Steve. And to be fair, you're a little bit like this as well. I don't go for the big, I'm going to be on this podcast with me. Like, if someone gets in touch and they're not a knobhead, and they're like, hi, Jay, why we do? We've got this podcast, not got many viewers or listeners, but do you mind coming on? I'm like, still of that opinion of, I feel a bit honoured that anyone would want me on their podcast, to be fair. And if I like what you're doing, I don't really care how many followers or listeners you got. If I'm going to go on somewhere and have a laugh, I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not about like, speak to my agent, right? Because obviously I ain't got one. So yeah, I do the smaller things, and sometimes the smaller things blossom into bigger things, and sometimes you end up part owning the channel and working with Stephen Howson every day.
So yeah,
and wondering where it all went wrong.
8 years ago, you decided to jump on a little known...
I got an email saying, "Hi Jay, I like
Was
your
it
blogs."
running Red Flag? Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
did
literally got the same thing.
Yeah, I did a blog. Do you want to come on this YouTube video channel we're starting? I was like, YouTube video channel? Do you want to do like a little test with us? So I did a test, and then next thing you know, Macca did the Reading preview, and for that same game, I did the review. So he beat me by about 3 days. And when was Andrew? You was there early doors as well. Weren't
I
you?
was the start of it, yeah.
You were you there right at the very
I
start?
think I did the third or fourth video.
So you were well before me then. He was
Yeah.
Johnny come lately. He just
It wasn't for me, though.
came
three-
here.
3 months in or
3
something.
month in, yeah, eh? These newcomers.
I went in for a test, and I got recommended by a guy who I did comedy with, and he said to me, like, there's this Man United fan channel that's going to be filmed in Tottenham Court Road in London. I'm a big United fan, so I went in. Didn't really... They didn't really know what they were kind of like doing at that time in terms of the structure. They were just throwing out ideas and stuff.
Didn't until about 18 months ago, to be honest.
Yeah. And then we did it for a while, and then after about 2 months of doing it, I realised this isn't for me.
Really?
So I left. I was like, I am fucking out of here.
Do you know what I loved? They said to us when we first went on, they went, "You're going to come on, so don't be afraid to interrupt or argue with people," which...
Hey,
That's like...
I live by that.
Yeah, exactly. It's, that's
That's
the only
your
reason.
USP.
That's
They
the
got
only
me down,
reason.
and I
Yeah.
went,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why we get up in the morning, basically.
That's your USP, isn't it?
Yeah. Like to argue and interrupt people, so we just went on there and they loved it.
I did one video for them that they said saved the channel.
Yeah.
Which was I went to Stamford Bridge with a camera crew from TalkSport, and I made up fake players.
Oh, yeah, that was like... And people were agreeing, weren't they?
2.5 million, views I got in a weekend.
That was amazing.
The best thing about it was I wasn't really into social media, and I found out that it was the 5th most trending video in America, and the 6th was Whitney Houston.
Really? So you beat Whitney?
And I was trending.
Who was she signing for?
I don't know, but we went down, came up with the most daft name. So what we did was what you don't see in the video is that we approached Chelsea fans and we actually talk about, there was a rumour that Wayne Rooney was going to join Chelsea, right?
Right.
So we get him talking about what you think about Wayne Rooney joining Chelsea, so they get comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And they're like just chatting usual shit, like, he's a great player and he'd do really well and all that. And they go, look, there's a new player that's signing for Chelsea. He's in the stands today. Finland goalkeeper. He's 6'6". Luggie Bell. And they'd all be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen him on Eurosport."
I love that. I remember watching this
And
video.
the anagram of Luggie Bell was no idea.
Right.
So then we had Dean. No, Luggie Bell was Dino was no idea.
There was another one. That
Korean
was
one. We had a South Korean guy, Wing Din Yup.
There was one. I can't remember what it was.
He was recommended by Park.
You said something,
Wing Din Yup,
and then one of them replied. I can't remember. He said something like, "He's got a great left foot" or something. He was like
left back.
Yeah, it's like a specific point about this imaginary player.
He was coming from Rotterdam, and he was coming Win Out, which was Win Out.
Did anyone get onto it?
Lads at the end got it. One guy who played Football Manager was like, he said, "I play Football Manager and I don't know these players." And we were like, "Oh shit." And then they got onto it and they were really good. And then as we were there, I just went, it's all right, it's just chatting to some Chelsea rent boys. And they all just started laughing. They were like dead on with it. But then it came up on the video. They put it out in the video and it got like 2 million hits. But then after that, I would say for about a week, I was stopped 2 or 3 times a day. People shouting at me, "Oh, you're the guy from the Chelsea video." Because I thought there was going to be some serious backlash here because like these people now, were going to get slagged from their mates. But we got their permission to put it up. We had one guy on it. He genuinely was like really into Vin Out.
Pull the mic a bit closer.
He was genuinely into Vin Out.
Yeah.
Like he was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen him play for Rotherham, and he's got really good left foot. He's got the same sort of pace that Ashley Cole had."
Yeah.
We were like, "Hey, this guy like does not exist."
We nearly did something similar. Probably about 2015, 16, something like that. What we were going to do is we had someone that we knew at a Dutch Prem team, probably. Something like that anyway. And we were going to start a rumour. And it was just a fucking fake transfer rumour. And we were going to start it with... It was a made-up player, essentially.
Yeah.
And we were going to have him... a news article on the Blag Club's website, or the real club's website. And then the goal of it was to get like fucking Merson telling you he's not good enough for United or something. Just someone just with a strong opinion on a player they've never fucking seen. And it was going to go to the extent where we had a fucking guy that's just athletic looking, wearing sunglasses, walk through Manchester Airport and be this kid and see how far. The goal was to get it on Sky Sports News and someone on Sky Sports News, because they can't just go, "I have a fucking clue who he is." Just go... Someone like pop up and be like, "Here's our Dutch football journalist. What's he all about then?" And they go, "Well, he's a continental style midfielder, I would say.
He's got really good parents. Like we've checked the background. He's got a balanced personality. Everything's going to be fine." But no, I did that, and then afterward they were saying to me like, "Will you go and stand outside Old Trafford after every home game and interview the fans?" So basically, Adam McCall started to do that, and that was when I was like, I can't really commit to any of this stuff. I was living in London. I wasn't going to come up and down every Saturday because I was doing gigs and stuff. So, but there was no money in it, like, so I was just starting. So I just left then, and then that was the end of that, really.
Yeah.
And I watched a few of the videos, but some of the stuff that we did in the early days, like we spoke to a Spanish journalist over Thiago Silva or somebody was coming to Man United.
2014 probably was Thiago, or 2013 it's probably Thiago Alcantara.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. And we spoke to a journalist, and he said, "Oh yeah, it's nearly done, the deal. Family already have looked at houses and stuff like that." There's no fucking substance in it at all. Like the guy, and then the guy went off. I think he signed for Atletico Madrid, and he was like, "The only club that came in for me were Atletico Madrid, so I went there." But yet, this Spanish journalist was telling me that the family have already been around Hale. They've been in bloody Waitrose. Fucking got their club card for Sainsbury's.
That's the nature of the beast, Andrew. That's how it is.
I'm just sitting there going, "Why am I doing this? Like this is complete bullshit."
Yeah.
Yet we have to ask really serious. How do you think he's going to fit into the structure?
Yeah, we
do you think
changed
he
that.
can do it on Stoke on a Wednesday night?
That was something we did change. Now we call it out. We go,
it's bullshit, man.
This is
That's a load of
nonsense.
shit.
Yeah, this isn't going to happen.
So I just got fed up. I didn't get fed up with it, but I understand you have to have content. But I know now that obviously the online game has changed, so those type of clickbaity headlines are gone. Do you know what I mean? People are clued in more now, Like, you see stuff now online. Like, you're not going to believe what fucking Jesse Lingard said about Harry Maguire in training. And then you click into it, and after about 75 adverts, all you hear is, "Good pass."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all it is.
That's the nature of the beast, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And I think, like you say, people are getting onto it, but there's still that little bit of you. I've been guilty of it, where you go, "Let's have a look."
But see, I come from...
I know it's nonsense, but...
Do you think there's fucking MILFs in your area or no?
There is, mate. I found them.
That want to chat?
Yeah. Did you ever see that scam on Panorama they did about a fucking dating website in Scotland? Did you hear about that? There's an island in Scotland that has like 50 people living on it, right? And there's go on a dating site, and
Why don't you just shout out the window?
no, you pay like 20 quid a month. But apparently there was 200 women living on that island. It was all fake profiles to get the men to keep paying.
Right.
So it's fucking crazy. But I like where I see, because I'm from Cork,
Yeah.
from where Roy Keane's from. I just didn't really I just couldn't do the bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, I'm not kind of like, unless it's factual.
Not feeling it.
Not fit. It has
Well,
to come
it's
from
not.
somewhere.
99% of what
Yeah.
you know what's on YouTube is bullshit.
That's why Roy Keane is so loved, you know. In Cork, people just don't.
We're gonna-
they like the bullshit off him.
We're going to talk about Roy Keane. You got some Roy Keane stories, haven't you?
I've got a couple of Roy Keane stories, yeah, that not a lot of people will know. Now, this story was probably the one I heard when I was about 18. But his dad passed away actually a few years ago, and his dad was quite well known in Cork, you know. And do you remember the time Roy Keane signed a contract at United for 90 grand a week, and the same year the season ticket prices went up?
They did a letter, didn't they? The
There
club.
was a letter, yeah.
And the Roy Keane went mad because he did a
98
letter.
and 99, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said basically the club, if you don't know, the club sent out a letter to season ticket holders saying the reason your season ticket price is going up, we've tried to stay competitive, including giving Roy Keane a new contract.
Yeah.
So he went mad because he was like, hang on a minute, you've not put ticket prices up because I've asked for a new deal. That's just nonsense. And the club more or less had to apologise to him.
But obviously, that was big news in Ireland that Roy Keane was getting whatever 90 grand a week. At that time, it was insane money. But I heard the story a couple of times in Cork of different people. So I don't know how verified it would be. But apparently, his dad one night was in a pub in Cork anyway, and he had a few pints with him, right? And he took out his lad, and he just turned around to everyone in the pub, and he went, "See that? That's 90 grand a week."
That's class.
So I heard that story and I was like, nah, that's not true. And then about 6 weeks later, someone else was telling me another story about it, you know? So obviously, but imagine just start taking it out and go, that's 90 grand a week.
I love that.
That's
Yeah,
quality.
He's got a point.
But he's so well liked and well loved in Cork, like, you know, because Cove Ramblers is first.
Someone in the
team.
comments said, did his dad go around flashing his knob in pubs saying, there you go.
There you go. There you
See,
that's it there.
that's verified. That's two sources. So that is obviously a fact. It can't be disputed. Two sources. That's all you've got it.
Do you want another story about Roy Keane? Do you remember
Always.
his first book in 2002 after Saipan, which
With
is
Eamon
20
Dunphy.
years this year, Saipan, the Irish Second Civil War, when Roy Keane left, right?
I've got that book, obviously. We all have.
Basically, Roy Keane was doing a book signing in Waterstones in Cork in 2002. So just imagine there's no smartphones, right? There is mobiles, but they're not the way we are now. So people have, you know, the fucking, the cameras. And a girl I worked with, you know, you wind it up. Remember those ones?
Remember it well.
Taking disposable ones on nights out.
Yeah.
Madness.
Remember you used to like go and get them developed after going and
waiting
collect
outside for ages.
them? Yeah. And anyway, he's doing this book signing, and a girl that I worked with, her daughter, was like 16 at the time. She queued up for like a couple of hours to go in and get the book signed. Went in, Roy was there, got the book signed, got a photograph taken, got the photo developed. Photo was blurry. Okay? So she was disappointed that she gets to meet Roy Keane, got her book signed, photo didn't come out right.
See, kids, you don't know about the fucking
You don't know about
You don't know
Yeah.
the dramas we had to go
Do
through.
you know what a
back in the day.
payphone is? Do you know what a payphone is?
Do you know what a pager is?
Yeah.
Remember them?
Do you know what I find suspicious now? If I see anyone using a payphone, I think that is really suspicious.
definitely drugs.
That's definitely weird.
100% or an affair.
But anyway, do you know what she did? She was only 16, so she wrote to Manchester United and said like, "Oh, I went to see Roy in his book launch and blah blah blah. Here's a copy of the photograph. It never came out. Is there any chance I can get a signed photograph of Roy?" Okay, didn't hear anything back.
Not like United.
About 2 or 3 weeks later, phone rings in our house. Roy Keane's on the phone.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm at home. If you want to call up, give a few photographs. Come up to the house.
We should
Got
try
photographs done up at his parents' house.
that. So can I do it for us?
There you go.
I Robbo. I
yeah.
fought with you in 1994,
Yeah.
and it didn't come out. Any chance?
And I fought with you in 1994, 1997, 2003.
But the one in 1994.
Yeah, that one. It's
someone's
a bit
thumbs-
blurry.
Thumbs on it.
Is there any
Yeah.
chance I come around your house?
Yeah. We've been through this before, Stephen. Stop ringing.
But he's such a like in especially where I'm from in Cork, like it is the love that people have for him.
What was that like in 2002? Was there any backlash? Because
3,000 people marched in the streets. You know that
were they for him? Were they backing
In
him?
Cork or in Dublin?
in Cork, not in Dublin, Cork. So like in Cork, it was classed as like the Second Civil War. So the first Civil War happened after in the 1920s when Ireland was trying to get independence. You had an offer of a deal from the UK. It was a treaty basically we accept what we have today, or we continue to look for a complete and true independent Ireland. So the two people that fought that were Michael Collins and Eamon de Valera. And Michael Collins won, but he was later killed.
Yeah.
So when you're growing up as a kid, people say to you, are you Collins or are you de Valera? Which side of the fence are you on? So then Roy Keane gets sent home from Saipan. So are you Mick McCarthy or are you Roy Keane?
Was anyone Mick McCarthy?
People outside of Cork, yeah, probably were. There was people that could see it from a management point of view, yes, but also the Football Association in Ireland, in Saipan, brought him to an island without training gear.
Right.
This is a guy that's coming from Manchester United. He's going to a World Cup
World
that
Cup.
we probably would have won.
Fucking World Cup.
We would have won that World Cup.
See, there's so
I
many-
think
We would
right.
have won that World
says
Cup.
this.
I think no. I'm with you.
The
Right.
draw, you had a kind draw.
Hear me out. Right. You might be taking the mick, but I think Ireland could have won that World Cup. Right.
Cameroon, first game 1-1. Matty
Yeah.
Holland scored.
Yeah.
Jason McAteer played injured when he shouldn't have. Stephen Reid should have played on the right instead. Then we went and played Germany was the last game, I think it was. Germany was the second game. Robbie Keane, last minute equaliser to go on. And then we went and played Saudi Arabia and we won 3-0. Team full of Gary Breens, Damien Duff, Matty Holland, Lee. Who else did we have? Was Lee Carlsley was there. It was great.
but-
it was amazing.
Right. You get through. You get through to last 16. Now you went out to Spain on penalties, right? You're telling me Roy Keane wouldn't have made a difference in that game?
Well, do you know the thing about that game is Spain were
Yeah.
down to 9 players because they'd used all their substitutes in
So-
extra time.
so-
And this, the thing about Mick McCarthy that really pisses me off, he played Damien Duff on the right. Damien Duff was a left footer. When Damien Duff went over to the left wing
Yeah.
in extra time against Spain, we got 6 crosses in. It's like, play the guy in his position.
So that's right.
That's
Spain went through. The next game they had was South Korea.
South Korea beat them.
South Korea is a winnable game for Ireland with Roy Keane now, yeah? South Korea then have Germany. Now you think, oh, Germany wasn't a vintage Germany team. They had some good players. They had Michael
Germany
Ballack.
basically ripped up their
Yeah.
whole fucking shit at that time.
Yeah.
And started again because of how bad they thought they did it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So then you're in the final.
Yeah.
All right, it's Brazil. I get it. But Roy Keane.
It's also Ronaldo with that weird triangle on his head, so he's gone fully
yeah.
off
Yeah.
the deep end.
Do you know what I mean? And also,
I think.
I still don't think you win. I still think you lose to Brazil. But
you're in the final.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about being an Irish football fan compared to you guys, if you're follow England, is that when we get to a tournament, for us, all I want is to go into the last group game with a chance to get out of the group. Like you go and you're like, right, who are we getting in the quarters, the semis? For us, it's like,
I don't support England
I know, why not?
because I'm a United fan.
They're not mutually exclusive, though, are they?
Are you telling me now if England in the Euro final there now didn't bother you?
Show you the footage.
He did.
You're not
You've not. He did. Did you do an England watch along?
Who Wes Brown?
Yeah, and I've never.
No,
seen
but you'd
anyone
watch
more
it and you'd
disinterested
want
in
him to do
football.
well for your country,
No, I want him to do well because Marcus is playing.
or Luke Shaw's playing, or whoever.
Well, Marcus.
It's more for him, is Marcus. I kind of get that. Michael H, welcome to the first team member. Thank you.
Mate, Marcus.
Taryn Camplin, welcome to the academy as well. Thanks for your support. Christian Shea, Steve, watch the last fixture list. Why don't you start a consultancy company with Rio and try and get a proposal like that set up? I don't know what he's talking about. You will, because it's your show and your fixture list.
We're just talking about how the lack of every club has a player liaison. The roles and responsibilities of those player liaison differ greatly per club.
Yeah.
A lot of what goes on at Manchester United is people rock up and they're like, right, see you at Carrington tomorrow. See you in a bit. And there's just so much more. Like we gamble on £100 million signings and just hope that they'll turn out good. But we don't put any of the legwork in. What's the nutrition like? Have they got a chef? Do they have their security sorted? Why in Manchester United? I'll put the blame on the club. I know people go, well, they're adults and they should look after their own shit. All right, cool. But no other industry relies on the talent that it puts onto the field in a way that sport does, and particularly football does. Right? If you're McDonald's, you get a chief executive in. You ain't going to see vastly different results from this guy, or this guy being in the main chair.
Yeah.
But if you hire footballers and this £100 million signing can't settle, his diet ain't right, or isn't sleeping because his fucking bed faces the wrong direction at night, or just some mad income, like he lives at a place that it's actually quite difficult to get taxis and he doesn't drive. Like some of those weird fucked up things like that, it makes a massive difference to your performance. Why don't you spend about 100 grand a year having some player liaison people, even if they're a couple of ex-pros, someone like that, just imagine like Dennis Irwin or Paul Parker or someone like that, just fucking being around Andy Cole, just being around these players, explain to them what it means to be a United player. We've just hired a sports psychologist, right?
Finally.
He's part of the coaching staff though, so there's implications to you going in and saying, listen, my fucking head's fell right off with this crowd.
Yeah.
Whereas, imagine it's Dennis Irwin who comes round and just hangs out with you and just be like, yo, so how's it going? Do you know what? I'm not fucking settling in, you know. It doesn't go back to the coaching staff. It's just someone from the club that's there on a pure welfare side of stuff. We have no fucking clue what the pressure someone like a Jadon Sancho or a Paul Pogba or even a Harry Maguire have been in since being like major money signings for Manchester United. Why wouldn't the club invest into people that are going to be there? And now, on one hand, I understand people are going, stop fucking pandering them and babying them. No, yeah, I'm not here to change your light bulbs.
Right.
But have you got a fucking major drama? Is your missus cheating on you? Have you got no fucking car? Like, is your mobile phone not a UK contract? Like, things that need sorting out for you.
Are you on the best electric?
Yeah,
Bill?
Maybe not.
Have you gone on
Probably
Go
all right
Compare?
with that.
Well, you want a fixer,
Shit like that.
basically.
Yeah.
Well, but do you think that would have helped Angel Di Maria?
Maybe. Or maybe he was just a prick.
Yeah, but like his house got robbed, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I think he got a little bit pissed off.
I think that was an excuse. But
You think
yes,
so?
I think he also probably had a little bit of that. Yeah, United should probably have a contract with a security company. You know, and I mentioned on the fixed list, I mentioned that there should be a United house that United own. And you're a new signing for us. Yeah, no, a Hale mansion.
Right.
But like, you're a new signing for us. Don't worry, you got 6 months of living in there until you find your own gaff.
Because when it's Zaha, where he left, had him in Bramwell on his own. He came up, he didn't know anyone.
Ronaldo lived in a flat.
Yeah, I mean, you got nice. You know, you're living in a nice house, but he said like he didn't know anyone. He was sat in his house all day. He did training in the morning. You've got all day to yourself. Doesn't know what to do himself. Bored. Doesn't know the area. Doesn't know anyone here. You know, you get players that are just tempted to go home, to drive back to London or whatever.
I do what Gaza did.
Yeah.
How many red wines and fucking sleeping pills before we fall asleep?
Yeah.
Bosh.
It's not. It does seem silly when you've got all these assets that are worth so much, and you won't pay that little bit extra to make sure they're getting the
not
best out of
even
them.
a single percentage of what they've cost you to make sure that they actually give them the best opportunity to perform for you on the pitch.
Do you know what? I was down in London once, and the Arsenal player liaison manager was next to me in a golf club, and he was on the phone, and he was organising an apartment for one of his players. Now, I don't know, was the player kicked out, or was he kicking out his missus or something? But he needed a fully furnished apartment within 2 days.
Wow.
He's just like, yeah, is it fully furnished? Right, how much? Okay, I'll ring you back. He's obviously trying to sort something out for some player at Arsenal. I still want to know which player that was.
People in the comments saying player liaison officer. Yeah, look, those roles do exist right now at United.
Yeah.
But what's their remit? What's their authority? What's their...
Is this somebody that's going to go, right, look, these are the best restaurants. This is where you go do your shopping. These are the bars to go into. These are the taxi companies to use. These are
Deeper than that. You arrive and they go, we just signed you from fucking Cobb Ramblers or wherever we've just got you from, right? Here we go. There's a UK phone number, SIM card. We've already added you to the players' WhatsApp group. Enjoy. No dick pics. Here's some. You got a missus? All right, great. There you go. Here's like all the fucking nice spots for your missus to go. You got any kids? 2 kids. All right, one's primary school, one's secondary school. All right, there's 5 secondary school brochures. Have a look at those. All of them are recommended by the club. There's some primary schools. Have a look at those.
Yeah.
We've picked you out 5 houses in the right area, so you're not going round going, is Cheetah Mill all right or what? Like, you know, we've picked you out some spots that, you know, actually this one you're next door to Luke Shaw. This one you're next door to Aaron
Roy
Maguire.
Keane,
This
whatever.
one you're next door to Bruno. You know, some where the players are all hanging out. Do you like golf? No, you don't like golf. All right, well, let's fuck off. Like, what do you like? You know, whatever hobbies that you've got. We've done our research before you got here. I know the club did this, but I think it was a one-off. When Cavani signed, they got him a South American butcher to prepare a load of Uruguayan meats and charcuterie and that for him. And they left that as like a hamper for him. Okay, cool, but
I mean,
can we take that a level further? No,
really
it's not
that
hard, is
great, is it? It's all right, but, you know, it's like, it's, you know, baby step.
But why is a club like Man United not doing this already?
Because we don't...
Like they should have.
shambolic.
Surely they should have.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
They should have. This is the sort of structure that needs to be in place.
The structure at United has been a shambles since Fergie left, because Fergie did everything.
Well, David Gill leaving was
Yeah, exactly.
a bigger loss, as big a loss.
This is in place in the NBA, in NFL, and sadly, it's in place at City to a certain degree. I know Manchester City have got a player liaison department. You walk into there and it's got a map of Manchester and it's got like where all the players that live and where they recommend that you live.
Super Chat says, I asked on a video a month back, can't asking Adam what happened to the Irish lad from Full Time Devils from way back, and now he's on the Brew. Mental. Yep, he's here. Robert Wilhelm says, it starts at the top. United no longer have a winning culture. The ownership don't prioritise winning, and that trickles down through the whole club.
Correct.
From Woodward to the janitors. Cheers from New York. Abhinav Verma says, you guys know some players. How about you do this and keep those guys focused, like Steve telling Luke Shaw, Oi, fatty, eat right.
Who's that to? Is that to me?
No. I think that was some advice to Luke Shaw, apparently. As Cam Waters says, has Andrew told his Roy Keane story?
I have.
Yeah, he has. Have you got any more? How many have you got?
I've got. I tell you.
If he's not 42
Yeah.
from being in Cork,
'Cause-
I want more.
Well, it's you hear a lot of different ones, but apparently I know my sister-in-law.
Yeah. I will get to that in a minute, Baggers. Sorry.
My sister-in-law, her brother played with Roy Keane for about 2-3 months when he was at Cove Ramblers before he went up to do the Irish.
Is it Cove?
Cove.
Cove.
Spelled COBH.
You said Cove, and I always say that, and I heard you pronounce
Cove,
it
yeah.
Cove.
Yeah.
So forgive us with our...
Cove Ramblers, yeah. So he played with him, and I actually saw him over Christmas, actually, social distance. And I said to him, "What was it?" Because he lives over in Amsterdam now. He's working over in Amsterdam, and I said, "What was it like?" And he went, "He just did everything so correct, and the basics were just spot on." And he was small, you know. So like apparently he was small, so he had a bit of fucking little bit, you know, that aggression about him because he was small, you know. So obviously, if you know, you have to kind of do that extra bit more to be seen or to be spoken. Always sticking the foot in.
Yeah.
Always putting the foot, not afraid to like, all right, come on then.
Yeah.
And then he went up to Dublin to do I think it was like a FOSS course or something. He went up and did like some. He progressed then after like a couple of months because he was performing so well. But he said he was class. He said he just chilled with him in the dressing room when he was only like 15, 16, 17 or something. And he said he was great, really, really good. But he was telling me that there was a camp that he was supposed to go on and he couldn't make it, and Roy Keane went on this particular camp, and Roy Keane then got picked out from the camp. So there's always this fucking story like that, like, oh, if I wasn't me, it would have been.
Yeah.
If I made that camp, Roy Keane would have been nobody, and all this kind of stuff. But no, he's an absolute legend. Like he does quite a bit of fundraising. He's done some Q&As for the club in the past to raise money for kit, for the kids program, for the stadiums, for the running a football stadium. Like I mean, the amount of money you spend for an amateur club to have to spend on insurances and public liability and all this. So he's kind of helped out a lot in the background in terms of doing Q&As and fundraisers. And he's turned up to a load of games there about 2-3 years ago. He was back in Cork a lot because his dad, I know, wasn't very well, so he would come down and watch the matches. Now there might be 200 people in the ground, and Roy Keane's just sitting in the corner. And it's just like, and he's just staring at trackie. Like he's in Cork, and my nephew went over to him and got a picture taken with him. I've never met him. He's Roy Keane, Eric Cantona are the two people that have you met Cantona?
He's interviewed him.
You've interviewed him.
No.
Wow, that must have been. But like Roy Keane and Eric
Just
Cantona are my.
London.
You just told me.
Just cuddled him like I was cuddling my granddad. Just put my head in his chest.
I remember when he did that film
You're
looking.
35,
Remember that film Looking for Eric, and he just
Yes.
turned and he goes, "It was a pass."
Yeah.
To Dennis Irwin,
Yeah.
another Cork man.
Yeah.
You know, I sat next to Dennis Irwin on a plane once.
Did ya?
Didn't speak to him for the whole flight because I didn't want to annoy him.
Yeah.
Then at the very end, they went, "You couldn't just sign up for me." Could you? And he was like, "Yeah, sure." That was it. Because you know the way if you sit next to like a footballer, you see someone, you go, "I don't want to talk to you for that because I don't want to annoy you."
Yeah.
So I decided say nothing until we landed. You know that gap when you get out of your seat and you have to wait that 5 minutes. Everyone gets out and waits. That was when I spoke to him. I thought, that's enough. He doesn't probably want to talk anymore, but dead on. But someone told me a funny story about Dennis Irwin. He got in a cab in Cork years ago. I'd say the cab came to 17 quid. So he took out 20 and gave your man a 20 quid and waited for his £3 change. And then someone said, Dennis Irwin waited for his change, tight bastard. Like, you know, you're just like, so what?
Imagine paying the list price.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Do you know
And then
what I
someone
Imagine
said,
giving him exactly what he wanted.
all the money he's earned, he wouldn't give the cabbie a £3 tip. I was like, it's none of your business. I was just
Right.
like, you hear
And
all these
that's
stories.
a story in it that's been like told like it's a major thing.
I had a tug of war with Dennis Irwin.
You what?
I had a tug of war with Dennis Irwin.
Did you?
Yeah.
Go on.
Using Brian Robson as the rope.
You told me this. Yeah. There's a story for you. Go on, tell us if anyone who doesn't know.
Just absolutely fucking minging. I don't know if it was me and McCullough. It might have been me and Joe.
What was this, some sort of benefit charity or something?
No, it was in Singapore in pre-season. We got in the lift with him. All of us.
I just turned on you like, hey mate, you fancy
No,
tug
just
of war?
fucking grabbed him. So come on, we're fucking finishing off this room we've got in our room. And Robbo was kind of on it, but like a little bit reluctant.
Probably a little bit scared. I know it's Brian Robson, but still. It's
And
probably
Dennis
like,
was a little
it is-
sober.
I'd say Robbo could drink you under the table.
I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted that story.
Then Gaza turns up with a fishing rod and he's just like, hey.
I wanted that story.
Yeah.
Robbo put me to bed. Fucking get in.
Have you been on the piss with any United players, like past and present, where you've actually had a night out in the pub
Yeah.
until 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning or something?
I did a Q&A with Norman Whiteside and his wife, lovely. And my missus, I don't drink. So we did the Q&A, and we sat at the table. My missus was there, and Norm Whiteside and his missus, and a drinking red wine. And in the end, my missus was just like, I'm going to have to go underwater. She was like, she couldn't keep up.
I had a few pints with Lee
Because he
Sharp.
was just giving a drink. Like, come on. Oh, I've
Lee
been out
Sharp.
with
Lee Sharp's a
well.
lovely fella.
Yeah.
He was living in Leeds at the time. I was doing an
Looks
event
like
with
he's
him.
well over football as well, doesn't he, Lee Sharp?
Oh, yeah, we were out in Norway with him, and the game was on, and he wasn't even watching. It was United versus Arsenal. He was just on his phone. He's just
Yeah.
not interested. Before Alex Bagley murders me, roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let a wild pube wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped Trademarks are here for you with the best tools to get your balls ready for this special occasion. This Valentine's Day, it's time to join the 4 million men, that's 4 million, that's probably as many men as there are worldwide, who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com/Howson for 20% off free shipping. The link is in the description. Let's not forget, the holidays went by so quickly. Did you remember to take care of your package with the best tools for the job? The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is just the thing every guy needs in their life to make each and every day just that little bit more special. And with all that, you get the weed whacker, the nose and ear trimmer, and I need that at my age. You're not far off. You're almost 40, aren't you?
Don't point me like that.
All right, yeah, I don't want you getting flashbacks and murdering me.
Jay, I've heard you're about to propose a national holiday.
Yes, I am.
Do you want to read it?
Thank you. You've got ahead of me there.
All right.
You confused me.
Jay's gonna propose
the
February 13th.
Yeah, national holiday, a national shave your balls day, yeah? So who's with me? You're
No,
on it?
no, I'm busy.
Right, okay, well, you're going to miss out. But I think this is one holiday that men and women can get behind. So the package you're going to get from Manscaped, you've got the weed whacker, you've got 2 free gifts, you've got your travel bag, so you can look like a footballer with your travel bag and your iPod and all
As you get
that
off the
jazz.
bus.
Yeah, as you get off the bus and give the little thumbs up and the slow-mo and all the music and all that, like you're on Sky Sports. And you've also got some deodorant. So you've got toner, crop reviver, you've got the 4.0 lawnmower technology, you've got all that. It's in a package. You get 20% off. Go to manscaped.com/Howson, 20% off. Get it for Valentine's Day. Make your missus dead happy or your boyfriend, whatever. I don't care. Just go and do it. Thank you.
Do you know
Thanks
what?
to
I think
Manscaped.
that's what United need as a player liaison manager to shave your balls.
Yeah, think about it.
That's
That's what's missing out.
Yeah.
That could be the difference.
last thing I wanna
between
do-
Champions League winning trophy season.
It's all about being aerodynamic, Jay.
Exactly. You could have that. Just that little 1% you've got from having your balls shaved could be the one that gets you through on goal and makes you score the
Only
winner.
one that scored that with a big bush.
No.
Here you go. It's a £3 million house in Hale. Our bins are out on a Tuesday, and I'll come around Thursday and shave your balls.
Exactly. Hey,
/Houston.
cutting edge technology. Thank you. Thanks to manscaped.com as well. Make sure you check it out. Link in the description.
Shout out to Zidane Iqbal making his debut for Iraq the other night. Last
Oh.
night, actually.
How did he do?
He only got 8 minutes, I think.
Yeah, he did. He got 8 minutes. Facundo Palestra did his debut as well, didn't he, for Uruguay? It's a real romantic story as well with Zidane Iqbal, obviously. Great story. First, I think he's not just from Iraq as well. He's got Pakistani heritage. Did a fantastic interview. Did you see his statement?
I've only seen the clips of it. I haven't read it in full yet.
He said, I'm a proud Mancunian. I'm proud of my English heritage. I'm proud of my Iraqi heritage. And I'm proud of my Pakistani heritage. And just basically he's living the dream. And he's proud of all that heritage. And, you know, it's great.
He's
that
got
we've
like
some
5
money.
nationalities. Can he play for everyone?
He's a bit like Andon Januzaj, I think. Remember Andon Januzaj?
Has he got any Irish in him at all? Could we take him? Is there any way we could get him?
Maybe.
We have taken so many of you. Like, we gave you Owen Morgan for the cricket just as a thank you. You know, we've had Ronnie Whelan. We've guys playing for Ireland. Goes, how do you think about playing for Ireland today? So right, mate. Yeah, so right. And we're like, where the hell is this guy from?
Because there was like a
Forward
time
Ray
when
Howard.
Jason McAteer. That's fucking hell.
John Aldridge has got like the most Scouse accent ever, and he was there.
We're always going, have you got granny parent? Irish grannies, Irish grannies, Irish
Wasn't there a
grannies.
rumour that Tony Cascarino played for Ireland without any Irish
Yeah,
heritage?
apparently there was something, he basically played
I
like,
thought I did.
something like that. 60 times. Cascarino, it's a lovely West Dublin surname, yeah.
Yeah. But like he didn't have, there wasn't a grandparent that was Irish or something.
How
He
Did
just
you ever hear the
lied.
stories about how Jack Jarlett used to recruit the players?
Oh, did you?
He was at like a Liverpool game one night, and he was talking to Ronnie Whelan or something, and he went, "Oh, see Ray Houghton over there. He might have something. He might have some Irish." He goes, "He's like, Ray, you've got any Irish in you? Right, train him Monday. Fly over to Dublin. We'll sort it out. You can train, but not play. And
We'll
then
figure it out."
as he was training, we'll figure it out. Like, just find a granny that'll just take you on board or something like that.
That's
but we had a great time with the, you know, those players that qualified for us through heritage and family. I mean, 1988, 1990, 1994
England in the
were
88 Euros,
we
yeah.
absolutely beat England 1988.
Yeah.
1-1 in the World Cup in 1990. Absolutely phenomenal time to be an Irish football fan. We've not qualified for a World Cup since 2002. I went to the Euros in 2016. Phenomenal watching Ireland beat Italy in the last 5 minutes of the game to get out of the group, and then 3-4 days, Roy Keane, assistant manager. 3-4 days, then we play France away. We're 1-0 up at half time, and we come out and we get absolutely battered in the second half. But we got out of the group. The key for us is to get out of the group, and anything after that's a bonus.
What was it like after the Henry handball? What was that like? Sorry to bring up
do you
bad
know
memories,
what?
but I'm just curious because
that single-handedly ruined the economy.
really?
Because
Pun intended.
no, like I mean, people's summers, people's like we were so like look, we weren't winning the game because we were going to go into extra time, so there was no guarantee we were going to win the game even if we didn't handle the ball. But there was murder over it. But the Football Association of Ireland, there's a book out there called Champagne Football. Our old chief executive, a guy called John Delaney, how he ruined Irish football. Like basically got to the point where he was fleecing the.
I've seen an article on this not long ago. Yeah, this is the guy.
Highly
that was
recommend. There's
just
a really good documentary online
ridiculous.
about it. And he went back to FIFA and was like, "Oh yeah, say whatever it is, 32 teams. So can we be the 33rd team if you don't mind? How's that going to work?" We got 5 million off FIFA. Like imagine an Irish guy will go up to FIFA and be like, "Right, there's 32 teams in the World Cup, 4 in the group, but you manhandle the ball. So can you just put us in? Like where are you going to fucking put us?" Like 5 in one group. How does it work? Just put us in the final and we'll say nothing.
The irony is as well with that.
We got 5 million money as compensation.
And the
5
irony
million
is
euro.
that didn't help France. They went to that World Cup
They were
and
awful.
imploded.
They had a strike, didn't they?
They had a
go on
strike.
before
Did
the
Domenech
first
get
game.
on a plane home and come back?
Yeah,
At one point.
France and Holland are 5 seconds away from doing that.
No one does
Yeah.
implosions like the French.
Oh, it was a disgrace, man. I mean, like, obviously you look at VAR and stuff like that. Obviously that wouldn't have happened. But at the time, you just kind of go, I just can't. I watched the match actually in Charlton. That's when I was living in Manchester. I watched the match here and I never forget it. Once I saw the replay, I was like, oh, there's clearly somebody's seen it.
Yeah.
There's clearly somebody has seen it. But then, Thierry Henry afterwards then, he told Richard Dunn after the game, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like,
There's that picture there
I
of them
cheated,
sitting
like.
down next to each other of like...
Richard Dunn is like really good central defender for Manchester City, doing really well, one of our stalwarts defenders. And Henry turns out to him and goes, oh, sorry, I'm cheated. And Dunn's like, yeah, it's all right. Like, he's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, what can you do? You know. I was furious, man. Like,
Tough
I
pill
was...
to swallow that one.
And Trapattoni had set up the team perfectly. Like, we're playing in France. If you actually watch the game, we were phenomenal in terms of our level of performance. I understand, like, Irish football is like fourth sport in Ireland, where we've only got 5 million people. Gaelic football, hurling, rugby, horse racing even, and soccer. We call it soccer because we've got our own Irish football. So just to get for a country of our size, to get to World Cups, to get to European Championships is a massive achievement for us. But when we get there, we always do okay, you know? Like, we always try and get out of the group, bar 2012 when, we got absolutely...
There's always
battered.
a moment for me growing up, like when I've watched Ireland in the World Cup, there always seems to be a moment.
There's
like,
always a Ray Houghton.
Yeah,
There's
Ray
always
Houghton
a
against
Paul
Italy.
McGrath. Paul McGrath.
I
Paul
love
McGrath.
Paul McGrath.
See,
Love
Paul
Paul
McGrath's
McGrath.
performance against Italy in the 1990 quarter-final in Rome. Paul McGrath, and he nearly scored with a header. Paul McGrath was just one of the most phenomenal Irish players, a troubled man, and the stuff that Jack Charlton had to manage with him.
Yeah. Have you seen the Jack Charlton documentary? Have you seen it?
And he recognised him.
Autobiography.
Sorry?
Have you seen Paul McGrath's
I
autobiography?
read it, yeah.
It's
phenomenal, isn't it?
It is. This is a guy
It was
that's
the best
been
I'd ever
through
read
the
until I
mill.
read Tyson's, and then I was like, right, Tyson puts him in number 2, but he is number 2.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's unreal.
It's a mixture of like sadness and
Oh, it's very sad. But
achievements,
also, it's also some of the stuff is just hilarious. Like when he was playing for Ireland, he used to lock him into the hotel room so he couldn't get out. Someone would sit outside in a chair. Oh, any chance I can go out? No, you're not going out. Like, wouldn't let him out.
Right.
And one night he went on the piss and he went to the airport and he just got on a plane and flew to Israel or something and then woke up and was like, oh God, he was drinking for 2 days and he's getting off the plane and the TV crews are into him. He goes, Paul, what's happened? He goes, just leave me alone. I just went on the piss. Where'd you go? Israel.
Obviously.
Where was the
What
player
else are you gonna
liaison
do?
manager then?
Yeah.
Where was the player liaison?
Well, that's- you know
Do
what,
want to go
though?
Israel or Beirut?
You may scoff at that, but that's what Graham Taylor did at Villa. Graham Taylor basically got him a chaperone, got someone to look after him because he'd left
Yeah.
United under a bit of a cloud with all the drinking problems he'd had. Graham Taylor recognised there was something going on, just got someone to look after him, just spend a bit of time with him. And Graham Taylor himself used to spend a lot of time with him just after the training and stuff, and just managed him. And you don't forget, Paul McGrath was the first Premier League PFA Player of the Year. That was him. He won that award. Fantastic season, 92, 93. And they just managed him.
Yeah.
But
after he left
recognised
United,
that.
he became a Villa legend. Then he went to Sheffield United and Derby.
Yeah.
So like he had a great crack, and he never trained.
No.
Like he turned up at the house, Paul. He's not training today, but his knees are all right. And then he did an interview in Ireland. Like he was like, "Yeah, I've played drunk. I used to go on the pitch. He's turn around to, you know, whoever I was playing with, like Kenny Cunningham or something. Like, listen, any chance you can help me out when I was out last night? Yeah, all right. Like they're playing like a World Cup qualifier, and Paul's like, "Listen, I was on the piss last night. Do you mind doing a bit of running?" And then you go off and we qualify for the World Cup.
A phenomenally talented player. I don't think people quite.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
Younger
Understand
Reds
that.
need to get his
Yeah.
autobiography to understand, because you're just going to think, so he was just a drunk.
No.
It's-
No.
No, he drank because he had like anxiety problems.
He
and
was adopted, and he was in an orphanage, and he was bullied, and he was
and severely racially abused.
Racially abused.
It's a mad story, but a moving one, and ultimately a successful one. It's talk about one of the greatest players ever.
I think Graham Taylor got him. He used to say, right, give Paul a bit of responsibility, make him pick up the youth players on the way to training, because then he's got to be a bit of a role model, hasn't he?
yeah.
And he made the youth players go and get him beers on the way to training, which he'd like hold in between his legs and fucking have a sip out of on the way to training.
That's insane.
He couldn't go into the shop because he had social anxiety. So he makes the 16-year-old lad he's picked up go into the shop, just get me a couple of tens as tenants or something like that, something a bit strong. And then he would go
get me
training.
through the day. Like
He had Southern Comfort, didn't he? He liked Southern Comfort because he was sweet, and he liked, in his autobiography, speaks about. I think it might have been when he left Villa and he was at Sheffield United somewhere. He drank a basic bottle of Southern Comfort before a game, went out, was man of the match, and doesn't remember the game. Was just
playing on pure instinct.
Yeah, and was just amazing. Polly 160 says, "Afternoon lads, question for the three of you: do you think United will win the league again with this ownership? I don't. Up the Paddock."
shut
Possibly.
the club down. Just shut the club down. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for me, it's great that we're not playing this weekend, so I'm not going to be disappointed this weekend. I'm going to feel okay. Like I just think, for me as a United fan, like if you actually look at what we've done over the last few years, like I know I've said this on another station as well before, is that, and I know you might come at me now with this, but I still don't believe David Moyes got a fair crack at the whip. Solskjaer got 2.5, 3 seasons, whatever. Moyes should have been given at least 2 seasons.
Not when he took us down 7th.
I just think it was.
Yeah, but no, he was sacked because his contract said minimum Champions League qualification. So as soon as he mathematically couldn't do it, he was gone, right? But I understand that, but I also think that he should have been given a bit of time, given a bit more time, because everything else has been a failure after him. Like, so, but...
That's true. I think we just found out earlier with him.
I don't know, man.
I think behind the scenes as well with David Moyes, there was a lot of issues there. Like, a lot of people weren't happy with him.
Like David Moyes David Moyes may have been sacked a year later, a year and a half later.
I don't think he was, from what I gather from people that I've spoke to, just in terms of sort of behind the scenes stuff, the media side of things, I don't think he fully understood the gravity of the job.
Yeah.
I think he still felt like, it's a bit like Everton, but just a bit bigger. And it's nothing like Everton, no disrespect to Everton, but you're going from a club that, is well respected and well known to, especially at the time, the biggest club in the world, where the scrutiny is unreal. There's stories of him like taking him training, where he used to take Everton training on a pre-season tour and just getting mobbed and not being aware of that. The media side of things, not being aware that you have to do a lot of MUT, you have to do MUTV, you have to do all this stuff, and him just not quite fully getting
I understand that, but I think somebody should have come in and taken all that off his shoulders and just let him coach the team and give him a little bit more time. I'm not saying he was going to be successful.
I think the coaching thing's right, because I think it didn't help the fact that you've got him, then he brings in Jimmy Lumsden and Steve Round, people that the players just didn't respect. They've gone from these coaches who they've respected, and Sir Alex Ferguson obviously, and then someone like Steve Round or Jimmy Lumsden, who've not really got anything like the pedigree to start telling the likes of Ryan Giggs,
fucking Carpenter,
and Paul Scholes, this is what I want you to do, and they're like, who are you? Do you know what I mean? And
I understand that, yeah,
him.
but I think maybe he should have been given a bit of time to fix that.
I just think, I've got to be honest, it just wasn't working. I don't know whether there would have been a happy ending. I just felt like.
What do you think of him now?
I
think he suits gritty clubs going from 10th to 6th.
You like that? You think that's the...
I think that's where I think he thrives on being an underdog. When the expectation is, no, dickhead, you got to turn up and win. Look what he did with West Ham. He loves it. No one's going to ever criticise this West Ham team for playing counter-attacking football and sitting in a low block and trying to break out of it to try and snatch wins and points and stuff like that. You do that at United, though, and people are going to come for you. And I just don't think he knew how to be cock of the walk a little bit. I don't think his personality suits winner.
He was, basically, Man United, we expect Everton. Let's see what you can do. You know, it's a massive gear change.
You got to remember,
but I still stand by saying that,
awful.
like, he should have at least been given another summer and maybe go the following Christmas, even if we weren't in the Champions League. And I understand that people be like, oh, he was fucking shit, we just found him out early and all this kind of stuff. But I think we should have, if you look at what's happened afterwards, well, you know what I mean, we might as well have given him a bit more time because it didn't come anywhere good. Louis van Gaal, some of the shit that came in there, Schneiderlin, all these players.
Louis was entertaining in his own way.
Yeah,
as a person, not as a not the
person.
football.
No,
the football was
awful.
awful.
The football was one of the worst.
That was my low point.
It was World War I tactics.
The football, yeah. The you know, I didn't see a
go-
goal.
How much do you think, since Ralph Rangnick has come in, so he's come in, he's going to try and change, you know, things. Do you think he's 50% of the way there, 60% of the way? What he's getting out of players? Do you still think he needs the players are?
Go on, Steve.
He's about 80%. Like, he's come in, he's gone, right, I've had 2 months now, whatever. I'm at 60%. We've another 40% to go before I get them to 100% what I want him to do. How far down his path do you think he is?
I'd be surprised if we're 25%.
Really? Yeah. Have you seen much of a change?
I've seen flashes.
I've seen bits where I go, this is great for 5 or 6 minutes, and then they kind of slip back into Solskjaer mode again, where it's a bit.
If you watch Bruno's second against Villa, it's kind of like quite systematic pressing from us, putting them under pressure, people moving at the right times to block off the different lanes. We win the ball high. Fred plays it into space for Bruno to run onto and stick it top corner. That, for me, was exactly what he's looking to do. It's block the opposition off, work hard out of possession, win the ball, play vertical, and get your chances in the final third.
We've won a lot of balls since Rangnick's come in. I think it's gone up something like 78%, or some stat I saw was really good, where we've won a lot more balls in the opposition's half from pressing. That's led to 3 goals, I think, or something, or 2 goals. But just that difference. But it's the intensity is what I'm seeing. Because when I was at the last
It takes
United,
a minute for everyone to switch through.
yeah, and it needs something as well. Like when I was at United City in the derby and we lost 2-0, I was sitting there in the ground. And, you know, obviously people around me are, you fucking this and fucking that. And I said, and I was just really sad. Like, I was just sad.
Yeah.
It felt like somebody was breaking up with me. I was just sitting there going, this is really sad.
The
Like,
Liverpool
it was
game
just
a
so
similar
sad.
sort of emotion on it. It was just kind of like,
What is this? What has this become? Because I remember when I had a season ticket at United, I was, you know, Ronaldo's 2 seasons, 40 plus goals. Champions League semi-final against Barcelona when we won 1-0, Paul Scholes, 24th minute. Saw all that kind of stuff. Saw the hunger. Louis Saha playing, Park Ji-sung, Michael Carrick, Alan Smith, you know, Gabriella Heinze. Yeah. Phil Bardsley making an appearance at right back. Phil Bardsley coming in. Do you know what I mean? There was some
Salford's
great,
finest.
you know, Henrik Larsson on loan. You know, all these
Quality.
and there was some phenomenal games of football, and the intensity. And when I was at the Man City game, it was like there's something fundamentally not right here. There's a cloud here that isn't moving. So hopefully Rangnick now is slowly changing it, but I do believe a lot of players need to move. We don't have the right players. Well, like Roy Keane said, you know, like go out there and just stick a foot in. You know, we need someone to go out there and like stick a foot in and, you know, kick the shit out of someone to get the fans going and get the players going.
Keane
you know?
says sometimes, doesn't he? I just fucking go run into someone.
smash
just to get
someone.
the
Smash someone.
There's a link in the chat. Subscribe to the channel. Stephen Howson, what are you up to this weekend?
Playing against Salford tomorrow, 1:00 kickoff.
Oh, I'm conflicted.
No, you're
Stephen.
not. They're playing green, Jay.
What position are you playing in football?
The manager.
Him.
Oh, you're the
Shouting,
manager.
screaming at people from the touchline.
Correct.
That's his position. Breaking people's spirits.
5 games to go, Jay. 5. Count them.
Where are you in the league?
Top.
Of what league?
Lancashire and Cheshire Premier Division.
Are these adult men?
Yeah.
Wow. You like it?
Top.
Does
Yeah.
he like it? No, mate.
But level
you-
13 in the pyramid, if you can be asked counting that.
You're a level 13 in here. Well, I must fucking watch that. I must have a look at that actually.
Get down there. Go and watch it. It's a good crack.
It's going to be fucking chaos.
Andrew, where can people find you? What you up to?
So this weekend I'm performing in the Frog and Bucket Comedy Club.
Yes.
So I was here last night and it's great to be back in Manchester because I'm living in Ireland now. And yeah, I've got a podcast called Cork in the North. So I'm from Cork, but I live in Northern Ireland because I love tension within the community. And I love tension. I love a good fight. Love stuff. So it was either Northern Ireland or Gorton. Like, you know what I mean? It was one of those places.
And you chose the less violent.
I chose I just thought, what do I need? I just put a Celtic jersey on and go for a walk down the Shankill.
Wow. Hey, that is.
So I live in Northern Ireland, and I have a podcast called Cork of the North, and you should subscribe.
Can we
really
get a link?
funny.
We'll get a link in the.
Follow me on Instagram at Andrew Ryan Comedy for videos and stuff like that.
Go and follow Andrew. Very funny guy, and we'll have to get you on again if you come back to Manchester. So
I'm all right, mate.
Old school. That's not bad for a man.
Is that? Is this? I'm all right, mate. Are you fucking what? You won't see United, mate.
It's like Moston, that.
Is that bad?
It feels North Manchester.
Yeah,
Is it bad?
Manchester.
It's not great.
Maybe Collyhurst.
Yeah, a bit closer to the
I see the kids on the weekends, mate.
That's Collyhurst.
That's definitely.
See the kids on the weekends, mate.
I went to a news story once in Collyhurst. There's a stabbing, obviously, Tuesday morning. And me and his photographer was stood there.
You know a lot about the stabbing.
And I went, fucking shit all around here, innit? And he went, that's my flat there.
That's what you got, Jay. You got to roll it then, and you got to go.
I went,
fucking hand.
I went, it is up and coming now. We've done a lot of improvements. Do you know what I mean? And
It's not. It's down and going.
Yeah.
That's where it's going.
So apologies, people from Collyhurst. Go and check Paddock out. You know where to find him. Go and check out his game against Salford. Go and check Andrew out as well. Don't forget as well to hit subscribe button. Thanks to Manscaped. You've got manscaped.com/Howson for 20% off and free shipping. Shave your balls, and February the 13th will be a special holiday in my world. This has been The Brew. Thanks for watching.